Right. So let's start. So now today we'll discuss how to create the views. So already we know how to create the tables. Now let us see how to create the views on the tables. So what is a view? A view is a reusable dictionary object which does not exist physically. Okay. So the difference between a table and a view is table exists physically. Table stores the data physically, whereas a view does not store the data physically. Okay, so it is a virtual table. The data in the view will be populated only in the runtime. Okay, a view does not hold any data by default. Okay, a view does not hold any data by default. Okay, so what is the purpose of a view means? See, the data is the interrelated data is spread across what many tables. Okay, the interrelated data is spread across many tables. So now I want to what access the data. I want to what get the fields from different tables and put it as what single object. So for that we can go for what views. Suppose if you take sales data, we have sales header data and sales item data spread across what many tables like VBAK and what VBAP. I can get the data, I can get the fields of those two tables and construct it as a single object. Okay. Similarly, if you take purchase document data, we have what purchase document header data and item table, EKKO and what EKQO. I can take the required fields. I don't require all the fields. I can take the required fields from both the tables and construct it as what single object. Okay. Am I clear? So the actual tables will contain what many fields. I don't want to expose all the fields, or I don't want to expose the entire data of the table. So what I can do, I can create the view. So a view can be created either by referring to a single table, or it can be created by referring to what multiple table. So while creating the view, we can select only what required field. So we can hide the original table fields and we can give access to only to what required data. Okay, I don't want to expose the complete table data. Okay, I want to expose the data which satisfies a particular condition. So those things can be achieved by using what views. So once a view is created, it is a reusable dictionary object. Okay, we can also use it in our repository object. Suppose if you take our what select statements, in order to get the data from multiple tables, we go for what joins. Okay, suppose by using a single select statement, I want to get the data from two or more dependent tables. So we need to use what joins in the select query. So using joins in the select query is what complex, and using too many joins in the select query also will degrade the performance. So we can avoid these joins by creating a view on top of multiple tables and specify that view as part of what select statement. Okay, so these are all the advantages of what views, but view doesn't exist physically. So you can see here views are used for hiding the original table names, hiding the original field names, restricting the access to our table data. Instead of exposing the complete table data, we can give access only to what limited data which satisfies what certain conditions. Okay, and we can also avoid joins in the select statements. How do we avoid the joins in the select statement? We can create the view on top of those dependent tables and then specify that view as part of what select queries. Done. So these views, there are four types of views in ABAP dictionary: database view, projection view, maintenance view, and then what help view. Okay, database view, projection view, maintenance view, and then what help view. So if you take database view, it can be created either on single table or what multiple tables. It supports both projection and what selection. What do you mean by projection? Projection is the process of selecting only what required fields. Suppose my table contains 200 fields. I don't want to expose all the 200 fields. So what I can do? I can create the view with the required fields. That process we call it as a projection. And then selection is what? Giving access to only what? To limited table data. Assume that my table has got some 1 lakh records. I don't want to give access to the complete 1 lakh records. I want to give access to only those records which satisfy certain condition. So that process is called as what? Selection. Projection is nothing but selecting required fields. Selection is nothing but giving conditions on what table data access. Okay, and this database view I can create on one table or what multiple tables. If you create on single tables, the maintenance status can be read only or read and change. So read only means I can only view the data, I cannot perform other database operations. Read and change means I can read the data as well as I can perform the other database operations. If you create the database view on multiple tables, it is always read only. Okay, and just like for database tables, for some of the view types, we can generate the table maintenance for maintaining the view. But for database view, we cannot generate what table maintenance. Okay, and whenever we create the view on multiple tables, we must provide the join condition between the two tables. We need to compare with what logical related fields. Otherwise, it leads to something called as what Cartesian product. So, what is that? We'll understand. So, first of all, let us create the view. So, what is the purpose of creating the view? Instead of exposing the complete table or instead of exposing the complete table data, we can hide the original table name, we can hide the original field names, we can hide the entire table data, okay, by creating the views. Views doesn't hold the data physically. That's why we call them as what virtual tables. The data in the view will be populated only in the runtime. When you try to access the view, at that time, SAP is going to get the data from the base tables of that particular view and populate that particular data in the view. So it doesn't hold any data physically. That's why it is called a what? Virtual table. So let me create what? Database view first. I can create this database view either on single table or what? Multiple table. So let me go for creating the table, creating the database view. So if you go to ABAP Dictionary SC11, we have the table K11. One second. We have a table K11 table. So if you see this table has got some 212 fields. It contains some 212 fields. Okay, and it contains some data also. Contains some 8,000 change record. So I want to create the view on this particular table, and I want to what expose only few fields. That process is called the projection. And here I want to expose only those records where the customer country is either India or what Argentina. If it is other than India or Argentina, I should not give access to the table record. So that is what is my condition. Nothing but selections. Okay. So let me create the view now. So since view is also a dictionary object, we create in SC11. Here it is asking the view name. I'll give the view name. Let me give the view name as something Z645 database view 1. Z645 database view 1. I'll create done. Okay, so it is asking what type of view you want to create. Database, projection, maintenance view, or what? I'll go for database view. Provide the description. I gave the description. Now you can see here we have a tab here, table or join conditions. We have a tab of table or join conditions. So in that table or join conditions, in that it is asking the table name, base table name, from which table, on which table you want to create the view. So I'll give what? K11. K11. So as of now I'm giving only what? One table K11. Done. So since it is only one table, you will not have any join conditions. If you create more than one table, if you provide more than one table, then we need to give the join conditions. So we'll come back to this later on. Then in the view fields, I can select the required fields. This process is called as projection. So I'll go to table fields. It is going to list out all the 215 fields. Let me select the fields. So I'll select MANDT customer. So it is recommended to select the key fields, not compulsory. So I'm selecting MANDT, customer number, land one, name one, and ORT 0. Okay, so 5 fields I'm selecting. Done. Done. So I took what? I selected only 5 fields from the base table. This process is called as a projection. And after selecting the required fields, we have the option to change the field names also. Suppose here the field name at the view level is what? ORT01. I'll change it to what? City. So I'm changing the original field name, not in the base table, but in the corresponding view. Right? So I gave the field name as what? City here. The existing field name I'm changing it to city. This process is called as projection. Selecting what? Required fields. Next, in the selection conditions, I want to give a condition. On which field you want to give the condition? Land one. So I'll just choose land one here. I'll click on table fields. I'll choose land one. Then operator. I'll use some operators here. I'll choose equal to comparison. Land one is a character field. So I'll give some values here. AF, Afghanistan, or I choose R. Then K11 hyphen land one equal to what? AR Argentina, or K11 hyphen equal to what? India. So okay, these are my selection conditions. Right? So land one should be either Afghanistan, Argentina, or India. Then I created this table on what? Only I created this view only on single table. So if you go to maintenance status, we have two radio buttons, read only and read and change. Read only means at the view level I can only view the data. I cannot perform any other operations. Suppose if you want to allow all the operations at the view level, I have to give what? Read and change. We should be very careful when you are giving read and change. If you are giving read and change, and if you are doing any changes if you are doing any changes to the data at the view level, it will reflect what? Base table also. So if you're okay with that reflection, then only you have to give the permission as well, read and change. I repeat, if you give the permission as read and change, it means that I can perform all the database operations at the view level. Whatever the changes you make to the data at the view level will reflect the corresponding base tables also. Okay, so I'll choose read and change. Since it is read and change, I can choose the permission as what? Display maintenance allowed. Display maintenance allowed. Done. So I selected these fields. This is projection and this is selection, and I get a maintenance status. Let me save it. I'll save it in the local object. Check for the syntax. Okay, so view must be created in the database. So you need to activate so that it gets created in the database. So I'll activate this. Done. Done. So the view got created on the database. Fine. Now if you see here, I can see the contents here. I'll go to contents, number of entries. The original table contains 8,000 plus records. Now the view contains what? 49 records only. These 49 records are also populated from the base table. What is the base table for this view? KN1. So if I execute this, it will show only those customers whose land one is either Argentina or India or what? Afghanistan. Okay, so only 49 records satisfy that particular condition. Okay, and if I do any changes, suppose here I'll select the record. Okay, I'll go to table entry change. I can change the non-key field values, so I'll change it to Suresh Kumar. I'll give the city as something Hyderabad. So this change will reflect the base table. So what is the customer number here? 4674. I'll save it. It will also reflect the base table. So 4674 now. So if I go to KN1 table, 4674, when I execute this, Suresh Kumar, and the city is changed to what? Hyderabad. Understood? So we should be very careful when you are giving the permission as read and change at the view level. Any changes made to the data at the view level will reflect the corresponding base table data. Okay, so this database view I created on what? Single table. Okay, and let me check whether I can generate table maintenance for this. I'll choose utilities. The table maintenance generate is grayed out here. It is disabled. Means I cannot generate table maintenance for database view. So why I'm checking for this table maintenance is, if you observe, if you go to SM30, we can see it is asking what? Table slash view. Anyhow, we can generate the table maintenance for every custom table we create. Similarly, I am checking whether we can create the table maintenance for database view. We cannot create. Might be table maintenance is supported for other types of views. So we'll see that going forward. Okay, done. So I created a database view on what? Single table. Now let me create a database view on what? Multiple tables. Okay, so when do we create the database view on multiple tables? If the interrelated data is stored across many tables, instead of referring to all the tables, I want to what? I want to combine the required fields into one object. Okay, I want to give access to the data through only what? One object. So at that time we'll create the database view on what? Multiple tables. So instead of using the joins in the select statements, I can use what? Database view. Done. So I want to create the database view on what? Sales tables like VBAK and what? VBAP. So I'll go to Z640 in SC11. I'll give the view name as Z645 DB view 2. Create. I'll choose database view. Done. I'll give the description. Done. So here I'll give the table name. I'll give the table names as VBAK and what? VBAP. So whenever we create the database on multiple tables, you must provide the join condition. Okay, if you don't provide the join condition also we can create, but it will result to what? Cartesian product. It will result to Cartesian product. Okay, so we'll see what is that Cartesian product concept. So if you see this VBAK table, this table has got 158 fields, and we have VBAP table, sales document item data. It has got some 385 fields. So now let me create the database on these two tables. I am not giving any join condition. And if you observe, VBAK table has got some records. We are having around what? 10,000 changed records, And if you take VBAP, it has got some 18,000 change records. Okay, done. So now I'm not giving the join condition. I'll go to view fields, table fields. First, so these are the base tables for this view now. Understood? I'm doing the projection now. I'll choose VBAK first. I'll select the required field. So from VBAK, I want MENDT, Webland, date, time, and the name of the person was created. 5 fields I'm selecting from VBAK. Then I'll choose table fields. Let me go for VBAP. Okay, again, it doesn't make sense if I choose MENDT and Webland because already it is selected from the VBAK table. So, understood. Anyhow, we know that an internal table or a database table or a structure cannot contain two fields with the same name. Similarly, a view also cannot contain two fields with what same name. So, any of these fields are already selected. I'll select POSNR and what METNR. POSNR and what METNR. So, two fields I'm selecting from this table. Done. Okay, this is the data. Okay, now this is my projection. So let me save it. Okay, check for the syntax errors. When I do syntax check, yeah, when I select, okay, I'll come back to this. So I want to give the condition also, selection condition. Okay, I don't want to give access to all the records. I want to give access only to those records uh, where the sales document range is from 4970 to 4975. So what I'll do, sales document field is there in what? Both VBAK and what? VBAP. I'll choose VBAK Webland sales document. Done. And here I'll say operator, I'll give it as greater than or equal to. Sales document is what? Character field. So I'll give 4970. Okay, and I want to give the range, so I'll browse. Let me give it as and then again VBAK Webland. I'll say what less than equal to greater than equal to 4970 and less than equal to what 4975. Since it is a character field, I have to give that value note single quotes. Done. Okay, and I created this database on two tables now. So if you see the notes that I gave earlier, if a database is created on multiple tables, the maintenance status is always what read only. So if you go to maintenance status now, you can see read and change is disabled. Only read only is selected. What is the warning I got here? You can only read a database used with what more than one table. Okay, so let me check whether I'll get any syntax errors. When I do syntax check, yes, I'm getting a warning here. View allows read only access, maintenance not possible. So here I must give the maintenance status as read only. If it is read only, I can only read the data. I cannot do any creation, deletion, and updation. So, what is the maintenance here? Table maintenance allowed. Table maintenance allowed means all the four operations are supported, na? So which is not correct. So that's why I'll choose what display maintenance allowed with restriction, so that we can only read the data, but I cannot do other database operations. Let me save it. Check for the syntax error. Okay, yeah, so you can see here I got a miss. One of the warning is what view ignores client dependency of the base tables. I have not selected the client field from VBAP table na. That's why it is giving a warning. And your client field is already what was taken from what VBAK table. That's why I don't want to repeat that. So save it. Check for the syntax. And what is the other warning I got? Not all the base tables are linked with join condition. So it is giving a warning that you are creating the table on two tables, but you didn't give any join condition. I will not give. Let's see what happens. I'll activate this. Warning occurred during activation. Do you want to display the log? Yes. Okay, so I got some warning here. Key field VBAPF and MN it is missing because from VBAP table, I have not selected the key fields because already MANDT and WebLen is taken from what VBAK table. Okay, so no issues. I can ignore that. Is it activated or not? Yes, it is activated. Okay, now let me check the contents. So, if what is the condition I give? 4970 to 4975. First, let me go to VBAK table. In the VBAK table, let me check between 4970 to 4975. How many records are there? How many records are there? 6 records are there. If I execute this, yes, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, and what? 75. Okay, all the sales documents are available. So between this range, how many items are there? I'll go to VBAP table 4970 to 4975. Number of entries are 21. 21 entries are there. So 70 has got 4 items, 71 has got only 1 item, again 724, 734, 74, 4 items, 75 also 4 items. Overall 21. So now my expected result also should be what 21 records only now. Because why 21 records? Database view created on multiple tables follows inner join. Database view created on multiple tables follows inner join. What is the concept of inner join? Each entry of the left hand side table will be compared with what? The rows of what? Right hand side table. If the matching row is found, then only it will pick the data. So here left hand side we have 6 rows, right hand side we have 21 records. All are dependent. So I should get what? 21 records overall. Okay, because it follows what? Inner join. But if I go to contents, number of entries, I got what? 0. I got 0, but I'm expecting what 21 records. But at the view level, I got only what 0 records. The reason is, if you observe the VBAK table or VBAP, sales document is character of 10. Sales document is character of 10. So you can see it is prefixed with 6 zeros. 4970 to 75 is prefixed with 6 zeros. Even in item table also, we have 21 records and you can see this prefix with what 6 zeros. Overall length of wavelength is what? Character of 10. So that's the reason when I'm giving the condition also, since I'm hard coding, if I enter it on the selection screen, even if you don't enter zeros, it will accept. It will take it as what? Zeros and value. But here it is not a selection screen here. We are hard coding the value. So I need to manually take care of that. So since it is character of 10, if it is an integer field, zeros before the value doesn't have any what? Doesn't have any meaning. But since it is a character field, the zeros has got meaning. So save it. Check for the syntax, same warnings I got, activate this. Right, so when I go to contents, how many records I should get? Now 21 records I should get, because database view follows what? Database view created on 2 tables, or database view created on multiple tables uses what? Inner join. So if I go to contents at the view level, number of entries, how many I got? 1,12,692. 1,12,692 records are there. Understood? So this is nothing but called as what? Cartesian product. Cartesian product. The number of entries in the first table into number of resultant values in the second table. So it is leading to Cartesian product. So if I execute this, this is a invalid data. This is a invalid data. Okay, so what I have to do, if you don't give the join condition, it leads to a Cartesian product. So I need to give the join condition. So what is the join condition? Table is VBAK. What is the common field? Veblen. Even MANDT is also common field. So MANDT, here also what? VBAP, MANDT, and then VBAK, Veblen equal to what? VBAP, what? VBL. So when I press enter, automatically you get the equal to operator here. I got equal to, and by default it follows what? Inner join. So let me check for the syntax, save it. When I do syntax check, right? I don't have any errors or warnings. I'll activate this, right? I'll activate this. Done. It is activated. Okay. Now if I go to contents, number of entries are what? 21. So it follows what? Inner join. It follows inner join. So I got the data 4970. It has got 4 items. 4971 has got what? 1 item. 4972 again 4 items. So database view created on multiple tables always uses what? Inner join. And whenever we create the database view on multiple tables, you must provide the join condition by equating the logically related fields. Otherwise, the result will lead to what? Cartesian product. Now let me check whether I can use this view in my select query. So let me write a select query. So first of all, I will not use any join. I will not use any join. Directly, I'll what? Directly, I will write the select query. So I require internal table now. So let me declare the internal table. ty underscore sales. I want some fields about VBAK table and VBAP table. So I'll take Veblen type VBAK hyphen Veblen. First, I'll not use any joins. Then I'll take two fields from item table. Then so these are the 6 fields from what? Both the tables. I'll create an internal table. Create the work area. Now by using single select query, I should get the data from these two tables. So select Veblen is part of both the tables. I'll prefix with what? Table name. Select VBAK Veblen. Then ERDAT is also part of two tables. ERDAT, then ERZDT, then ERNAME. Okay. Then I want POSNR and MATNR, which is part of those VBAP table from what? VBAK, also what? Inner join VBAP, and we have to use a join condition on VBAK of Veblen is equal to VBAP of what? Veblen into table. What is the internal table? T underscore what? Sales, where Veblen in I'll just give the values directly 1 2 3 4 5 6 4 9 7 0. 4970 71 72 73 74 75. When the blended 7071 73 74 75 done. Right, so here I'll say if size of arts is equal to 0, if size of R is equal to 0. Okay, let me count the number of records. Okay, or directly I'll say here write number of records. Okay, how do you get the count? By using the system field what? Sci db count. Number of records is sci db count. Okay, and also what? Ndf. I can loop and display also. Let me loop and display. Loop at t underscore sales into w underscore sales and loop. Then here I'll say write w underscore sales hyphen weblen. Like that, you display the required field. So I'm using inner joins in my select query. ERDAT, ERZET, ERNAM, then item number. What is this? PO, SNR, then material number. Done. So I got the, I'll get the data. So and look, else I'll just give message no data. Write what? No data. Done. So when I execute this, column name Veblen is ambiguous. Okay. So we are using the Veblen in where condition, and my select statement contains two tables. So I need to tell SAP from which table you want to compare. So from VBAK of Veblen in. Done. Save it, check for the syntax, no errors. So when I execute this, I got the number of records is what? 21. I got the required data. I got the required data working fine. Now I'm using what? I'm using joins in my select query. So can we avoid the join in the select query? Yes, we can create the view and we can do it. So what I'll do, already I created the view. So let me comment this part. I'm commenting this part. So what I'll do here I'll say already the view is created now. What is the view I created? Z645 DB view 2. Z645 DB view 2. So here I'll say ty underscore sales. I'll directly include that view. Let me check whether I can include that view instead of declaring individual fields. I'll say here I'll say what? Include structure or include type. I can say include structure, include type. I'll go for Z645 DB view 2. Z645 DB view 2. Then let me close the types end of what? ty underscore sales. Done. Understood. Instead of declaring individual fields, I'm directly including the view only. So this should be possible. Then I declare the internal table. Then here I'll say select what? Star. Select star from what is my database view name? Z645 DB view 2. Z645 DB view 2. It contains 6 fields and also contains a selection condition. So I'll just simply say select star from Z645 DB view 2 into table T underscore what? Sales. Understood? Z645 DB view 2 is not a table, it is a view. It is a view. So I'm trying to use my database view in my select query. I'm trying to use the database view in the select query. So what is the change you observed? In the earlier select statement, we were using the joins. Here, I created the database view with those two tables by giving the join condition at the view level, and then directly I am giving the view in the select statement. So I should be able to get what? Same data. Earlier I got 21 records when I'm explicitly using the inner join. So when I execute now, yes, I got the same data. Here also I got number of records is what? 21 only. So what is the meaning? Database view created on multiple tables always uses what? Inner join. So we got the number of records here. Okay, we got the required number of records. Hope it's clear to everyone. So using too many joins in the select query may degrade the performance slightly. So one of the technique to improve the performance is what? You create the views. Create the views on those dependent tables and directly use the view in your select statement. So to summarize, database view can be created on either one table or what? Multiple tables. And it supports both projection and selection. Projection means we can select the required fields, and selection means we can give conditions on table data access. Another point is what? A database view created on single table can have the maintenance status as read only or read and change. Read and change means I can perform all database operations at the view level. Any changes made to the data at the view level will reflect. Okay, will reflect what? Will reflect all the records, will reflect the corresponding data in the base tables. Okay, if a database is created on multiple tables, the maintenance status is always what? Read only. The maintenance status is always read only. Means I can only view the data, I cannot do any other database operations. Well, so this, and another point is we cannot generate table maintenance for database views. We cannot generate table maintenance for database views. Done. So any questions related to database views? Done. Okay. Now let me go for what? Projection view. Projection view is very simple. The main agenda of projection view is to hide the original table fields. The main agenda of projection view is what? To hide the original table fields. And another point is a projection view can be created only on one table. Can be created only on what? One table. And it doesn't support selection. Means if the scenario is if you want to expose the complete table data but with limited access to fields, we'll go for what? Projection view. So let me create the projection view. So I'll give the name as Z645. What? Projection view. Create. I'll choose projection view. Continue. Short description. Done. In the view fields tab, it is asking the base table. So as I told you, a projection view can be created only on what? Single table. So I'll give the table name as something KN1. Then I'll select the required fields. Okay. So here you can see, okay, I'm selecting some required fields. This is nothing but projection. Out of 215 fields, I'm giving access only to what? 5 fields. And I don't have any selection. Means in what scenarios we'll go for projection views? When we are sure to share, when we are sure to expose the complete table data, but want to hide the original table fields, then we'll go for what? Projection view. So out of 215 fields, I'm giving access only to what? Few fields. Then since it is only a single table, maintenance status can be read only or what? Read and change. So even if I choose read and change, let the what status would be display maintenance allowed. Let me save it. Check for the syntax error. Right, view is consistent. Let me try to activate the projection view. It gets created in the database. So projection view is not created. Done. Okay. Now can I use this projection view in my database tables? Let me check. So here I'm able to use database view in my what? Select statement. Let me check whether I can use it. I can use the projection view or not. 1 second. So here also types begin off TY underscore customer. I'll try to include that projection view. Include type Z645 projection view types end of what TY underscore customer. Okay, so when I do syntax check, I don't have any errors. Let me declare the internal table data T underscore customer type table of TY underscore customer TY underscore customer. Then I'll create a work area W underscore customer type TY underscore customer. Then I'll write the select statement of select star from what is my projection view Z645 what projection view into table what is the internal table T underscore what customer. Okay, so when I do syntax check I don't have any errors. Okay, so let me just display the count of records. If size of is equal to 0, I'll say right side db count. I'm just printing the number of records fetched by my select statement. So when I execute this, no syntax errors. When I execute, I got 8510 records. So what is the meaning? Projection view also I can use it in my select queries. Okay, so the difference between database view and projection view is what? Database view can be created on what? One or more tables, whereas projection view can be created only on what? Single table. A database view supports both projection and selection, whereas a projection view supports only what? Projection. It doesn't support what? Selection. Okay, and let me check whether I can generate table maintenance for projection view. I'll choose utilities. No, it is grayed out. So what is the meaning? I cannot generate table maintenance for projection view. It is ruled out. That's it. That's about the projection view. Any questions? Done. Now let me go for what is the other type of view? Maintenance view. Okay. So maintenance view also I can create it on one table or I can create it on what multiple tables. Okay, so the main purpose of maintenance view is I need to get the fields from what multiple tables. I need to give access to what multiple tables data as a single object. Understood? What is the difference between database view and maintenance view is database view we cannot generate table maintenance, whereas maintenance view we can generate what table maintenance. That is one difference. Another difference is database view if you are creating a multiple tables we must give the join condition. We must give the join conditions by equating the logically related fields. In case of maintenance views, okay, the joint we can select multiple tables which are having the foreign key relationship. So based on that foreign key relationship only the join condition will be provided by SAP itself. You may not give any join conditions. Okay, so let me go for we have the VBAK table, or let me go for KN1 table. Right, so this is a KN1 table. Right, this is a customer number. Okay, let me check whether we have any primary key. So I'll go to what? Sorry, whether we have any foreign keys. When I click on this, no, it's not there. I'll go to the other table VBAK. In the VBAK table, we have a field what KNKLI customer's account number. I'll just choose this. Yes, it contains a foreign key. Done. So there is a foreign key relationship between what? There is a foreign key relation between VBAK and what? KNM table. What is the check table here? KNM. So keep this in mind. So now I'll create the maintenance view. So I'll say Z, I'll use Z 645 what? M view. Okay, Z645 M view, create. I'll choose what? Maintenance view. Done. I'll give the description. Let me give it as maintenance view on what? Maintenance view on what? KNA1 and what? VBAK. Done. Okay, table selection and joint definition only possible with relationships. So I'll take what? VBAK. Understood? I'm giving only one table. I cannot give multiple tables directly. Understood? So it is based on what? Foreign key. If it is a database view, we have to give the multiple tables manually. So here I gave VBAK. I'll click on relationships. If I click on relationship, it will show me all the tables to which it has got the foreign key relationship. Okay, so one of the table is what? KN1. So if I choose this, yeah, I can see VBAK KN1 done. I'll just select that entry. Yes, I got it. Understood. So here I selected that combination. Automatically the joint condition is what? Proposed. Automatically the joint condition is proposed based on the foreign key tables I selected. Done. Understood. This is the first difference. In case of database view, uh, we need to provide the multiple tables manually, and we need to provide the join condition manually. Even if you don't provide the join condition there is no issue. It leads to what? Cartesian product that we have discussed in the beginning. But whereas here, maintenance view I can create on multiple tables, but the tables will be provided based on the foreign key relationship, and based on the foreign key table selected, automatically the join conditions are proposed. So I'll go to view fields. Yeah, by default it is taking the primary key fields. I'll select some other fields also. I'll take VVAK, I'll take ERDAT and what ER, ZDT. Done. Let me select some fields from K11 table. I'll select customer number and land one. Two fields I'm selecting. Done. They are the two fields. Then selection conditions. You can give the selection conditions here. Okay. Done. If you want, you can give the selection condition, you can ignore it. Now, another difference is if you create the database view on multiple tables, we have seen that maintenance status is always what? Read only. Maintenance status is always read only. But in case of maintenance view, if you create the maintenance view on multiple tables also, the maintenance status can be anything. It can be read only, it can be read, change, delete, and insert. Read only means only read access. Read, change, delete, and insert means I can perform all the four database operations. Read and change means I can read and modify. And this is read and change, this is related to HR ABAP, so just ignore it. Time specific constraint is that. Okay, I can select either of these options. Okay, if I choose this one, it supports what? All the four operations. So this is another difference between database view and what? Maintenance view. Okay, so done. Let me save it. Check for the syntax errors. Key fields are not together at the beginning of the view. Okay, so generally the key field should be at what? Beginning of the view. So what I did here, I selected ERDAT, ERZDT. So let me make them as, let me keep the key fields at the beginning. So I'll just remove this ERDAT. I'll remove this ERZDT also. Now here I'll select the other fields from VBAK table. Let me check whether it will come or not. Done. Key fields at the beginning now. Let me save it. Check for the syntax errors, no errors, activate this. Right, so I created the maintenance view. Done. Now if I go to contents, acha, okay, I'm, a, I'm unable to view the content. So compulsorily We have to generate the table maintenance for what? Maintenance view. Okay. We cannot generate table maintenance for database view and what projection view. But for maintenance view, it is mandatory to what? Generate. So I'll go to utilities. Yes, you can see it is enabled now. Table maintenance generator. Authorization group. Let me give the authorization group. Function group. I'll give this one. Okay. Let it be two step. Continue. Create the table maintenance. Table maintenance is getting generated. What is the name of the maintenance view? Z645M view. Z645M view. Right? So request completed without errors. Done. Now, now let me view the contents. I'll go to contents. Yeah, now it is allowing me to what? Open the contents. Okay, so I got the data here. Okay, let me restrict the data. I'll go to selection conditions. I'll choose KNA1. I'll choose customer number. I'll give some condition. Operator equal to what? I'll give some customer number as only what? 1000. I want the sales data of only this customer number 1000. Activate this. That. So if I view the contents, it will show the data of only what? Customer number 1000. Okay, so I got the data of only what? Customer number 1000. Right, I can choose the entry. I can go to what? Details. Okay, this is 1001 now. I get 1000. How I got 1001? Let me go and check once again. And what basis it is picking. What are the fields I selected? I have selected customer number. Okay. I will go to contents. Okay. Right. So because the left hand side table is what this will. Okay. So I'll do one thing. 1000 I gave. Find customer 1000. But why it is not picking? Customer number is 1171. Okay. So just go back. KNA1 client and KNA1 customer to VBA KNK line. Okay, selection conditions. On what basis it is picking? Yeah, what could be the issue?
So, sir, maybe the language or the country key.
No,
Only.
language fee is not there. No? Here,
Okay.
language fee is not there. And my question is why it is not considering the selection condition? One second. I'll give reverse. Okay. One second. So here it should be VBAK only. Right. I'll select the required fields. Okay. Let me select key fields from KNM first. I'll select customer number, land one, done. Then I'll select the other fields from VBAK, ER date, DAT and ERZDT, done. Selection condition, okay, as of now I'm not giving, save it. No syntax error, activate this. Right, so if I go to contents, this is the data I'm getting. Now I'll select customer number. I'll give 1000. Check for the syntax error, activate this. Then if I go to contents, not KN1, VBAK. For the contents, on what basis it is picking customer number. Yes, any analysis on what basis it is picking. Selection condition not considering. Okay, I'll give and K11 of Punnar also equal to what? 1000. Save it, check for the syntax, done. Activate this. No, still the same issue. Yeah, anyone what could be the analysis? I'm expecting only the data related to customer 1000. Okay, this is fine. New fields is also fine. Okay, I'll do one thing. Let me go to table maintenance. We already generated the table maintenance. Huh? Let me go to table maintenance. So I'll go to SM30. Okay, SM30 Z645 MU. Hmm. Oh, here I'm getting in table maintenance I'm getting. I'll do one thing. Let me go back to my maintenance view. Actually, this is also not required. Let me delete this. Activate. Okay, customer is what 1000. Done. Now I'll come back to my table maintenance. Z645 MU. Maintain. Yeah, now I'm getting. Hmm. Here I'm getting. And table maintenance is working fine. But here I don't know why it is not working. Any idea, anyone? Table maintenance, it is showing the valid thing only. Suppose now I'll change it to 1000 I give, and let me give it as OR operator. I'll say VBAK of what Kunnar is equal to 1001. Okay, I'll activate this OR again, OR condition. Done. Now let me go back to table maintenance, maintain. Thousand is there, but 1001 is not there. Might be there are no sales orders for that. Might be there are no sales orders for the particular 1001. But why I'm not getting here is Go here. Screen so and so was modified during the run. Okay. Same thing I got done. Okay, I'll check it offline. Why it is not showing in SC11, but in maintenance it is showing the valid data only. But here only I'm not sure why it is not showing. Let me remove everything. I'm not giving any selection condition. Now if I go to table maintenance, I should get all the data. So I'll go to SM30, Z645, so and so. Yes, this is fine. This is fine. I'm getting all the data. Now once again, let me come back here. I'll come back to my maintenance view. I'll give the condition once again. I'll give it on KN1 customer number equal to 1000. Let me activate this. Done. It is activated. Let me go back to the maintenance view. I'll click on maintain. Oh, what happened? This is the maintenance view. I hear the condition. Is it valid only 1, 2, 3,000? Yes. Actually, it follows left rotation. Just I'm trying to analyze this. Okay, left hand side is KN1, right hand side is VBAK. I give 1000. It will check all the inputs. Okay. Yeah. Once again, activate this. Okay, this is fine. I'll give left hand side this one. Let me give this as VBAK. Activate. Still same thing. I'm seeing the selection condition. But earlier I got 1000. Now I got 1000 then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,000. Yes, correct only. So it is not reflected to the table maintenance. I'll do one thing. Let me regenerate. I'm regenerating the table maintenance. Request completed without errors. Okay, done. Let me regenerate. Let me come back to maintenance view. 730. Yeah, now I got it. So, okay, it's working. So what is happening is, it is not adjusting the table maintenance. Just like table also we have seen the issue. If you add any fields or if you what change the data type, okay, and if you include any structure, those changes will not reflect to existing table maintenance. So in order to reflect what you have to do, you have to regenerate the table maintenance. Here also same thing. Okay, so I give 1000. Okay, let me give 1001 now. I'm giving 1001. Let me activate this. Then it is activated. Yeah, here it should not reflect. I'll click on maintain. Yeah, I got 1000 because it is not adjusted. So let me go back here. I'll regenerate the table maintenance. Utilities table maintenance generator. Let me delete this. I will regenerate the table maintenance. Done. Let me just go back and regenerate utilities. I gave 1001 now. Table maintenance generator. Function group is what so and so. Done. Propose the string numbers. Create. Right, request completed without errors. Let me activate this once again. Okay, now go back to the table maintenance. I'll just refresh it. SM30 maintain. Good, 1001 working fine. Okay, so working fine. So anyhow, I'll show one more example on Monday. Okay, Monday we'll see one more example on maintenance view. Then we'll go to what another type of view. What is that? Help view. But before going to help view, we need to discuss about searchal. Okay, so Monday what I'll do is I'll start with maintenance view only. So the problem is it is not adjusting the table maintenance. So I'll repeat this maintenance view once again on Monday. So just to close the session, I'll just repeat all the things. So views are created to hide what? Original table names, to hide the original field names, to restrict the table data access. Okay. And then database view, yes, such before that, just to wind off, let me check whether I can use maintenance view in my select statement. We are able to use what? We are able to use database view as well as projection view in the select query. Now first let me say ty underscore, I'll say sales. I'm trying to use the maintenance view. I don't think it is possible. Let me check. Z645 yum view done. Rest of thing is same. Ty underscore what sales. Ty underscore sales. And then here also I'll say T underscore what sales. Then W underscore what sales. Ty underscore sales. and here also I'll say ty underscore what sales. Yeah, Z645 MVO, Z645 MVO into table T underscore sales. So let me check, save it, check for the syntax. Good, good, good. Yeah. What is the error I got here? Z645 MView is not defined in the ABAP dictionary as a table or a projection view or database view. So we understood that we cannot use maintenance view in the select queries. We can use only the table, we can use only the projection view and what? Database view. Maintenance view and LP view, we cannot use it in the select statement. So that is what is the understanding. Okay. So anyway, I'll show one more example of maintenance view on Monday class. So to wind off, I'll just tell the difference between these three views. Database view can be created on one or more tables. Projection view only on one table. Maintenance view I can create on one table or multiple tables. But if you're creating the maintenance view on multiple tables, it should be foreign key relationship tables only. Based on the table selected, the join condition is proposed by SAP itself. Whereas in case of database view, you need to select the multiple tables manually and we need to propose the join condition manually. That is one point. And next point is what? In case of database view created on multiple tables, the maintenance status is always read only. But whereas here, in case of maintenance view create on multiple tables, maintenance status can be read only or read, change, delete, and insert. So I generated the table maintenance for what? Maintenance view which is created on two tables now. So I can do all changes here. See, I'll click on new entries. I'm able to insert the data, I can delete the data, I can modify, I can view all the database operations I can perform on what? Maintenance view. And we cannot generate table maintenance for database and projection view, but we can generate table maintenance for maintenance view, and we can use database view and projection view in the select query. We cannot use maintenance view in the select queries. Okay, so on Monday's class I'll take one more example on maintenance view so that it will be more clear. Done. So the problem was since we have the table maintenance concept for maintenance view, it is not getting refreshed. So I need to delete the existing table maintenance and regenerate the table maintenance. That was the issue, right? So any questions before I wind up, please ask. Sure, then. So I'll wind up. We'll continue on Monday with another example on what? Maintenance view.